Welcome to Poland Daily News. My name is Aleksander Wierzejski. The Polish and South Korean prime ministers underlined their countries' increasingly close ties as they met at military base east of Warsaw. Mateusz Morawiecki and Han Duck-soo spoke to the media in Minsk Mazowiecki in front of the Korean Fa-50 light combat aircraft. Our countries, though they are separated from each other, they have more in common than one would think. We both have experience of living in the shadow of a giant neighbor. We can even name giant neighbors for both Poland and Korea. And this experience is common and current. Russia is our neighbor, and what it does in Ukraine and how it worsens the security of the Far East makes us share the same reflections, the same worries, and the same hopes for the future. Today, along with Prime Minister Morawiecki, we will talk about further implementation of arrangements from the July summit, as well as possibilities of strengthening our strategic partnership on different levels, including international matters. There is a big task ahead of Poland today, building the strongest, or one of the strongest, army ground forces in Europe. We want to draw from the technologies of those who have it on the highest level today. Our strategic partnership with Korea serves this. Korea and Poland, we both have experience of rebuilding the country after the war, so we will be cooperating on the rebuilding of Ukraine. Last year, Poland signed a contract with South Korea to supply Warsaw with 48 Fa-50 fighter jets as it seeks to bolster military against the background of ongoing security worries related to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The Fa-50s are to replace MiG-29 aircraft, technology dating back to the Soviet times, and are part of a wider deal between the countries, including hundreds of Chunmoo rocket launchers, K-2 tanks, and K-9 self-propelled howitzers. The deal, South Korea's biggest ever, has made it a major supplier of weapons flooding into Europe since the Ukraine war began, with sales to NATO member Poland involving more than 1,600 tanks and howitzers and nearly 50 fighter jets. Poland has given neighboring Ukraine large amounts of military equipment to support its fight against Russia and making intensive weapons purchases to upgrade its own deterrence and defense capabilities. Poland's nuclear energy program until 2043 envisages Korea Hydro and Nuclear Power Company as a strategic partner in developing one of Poland's 3 planned nuclear power plants. On Tuesday, Korea opens its border to Poland's pork and is working on allowing imports of beef and poultry meat from Poland, Han said. Later Wednesday, Han was to travel to the southern spa town of Krynica-Zdrój to meet Polish President Andrzej Duda and Lithuanian President Gitanas Nausėda and to attend a 3-day regional economic forum. Polish-South Korean cooperation will be a key element of the forum's program, organizers say. A Russian drone attack early on Wednesday damaged port infrastructure in the Izmail district of southern Ukraine, a major grain export hub. According to Oleg Kiper, the governor of the Odessa region, the attack on Izmail was carried out in several waves. Photos and video posted on Telegram by Ukraine's Operational Command South showed rescuers working at the scene, trucks on fire and partially destroyed building. Agencies were unable to confirm the location or date of the video, and photos were taken. The Ukrainian Air Force said 32 of the 44 Iranian-made Shahid drones Russia launched into Ukraine overnight has been destroyed. Moscow has stepped up attacks on Ukrainian port and grain infrastructure since mid-July, when it pulled out of a UN-brokered deal that allowed safe passage of Ukrainian grain shipments across the Black Sea. The European Union's final decision on Ukrainian grain imports is still unknown. Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, Romania and Bulgaria are calling for the import ban to be maintained beyond the 15 September deadline, citing the welfare of domestic farmers. Poland, which introduced the ban in April, is increasing transport of Ukrainian grain. According to Poland Deputy Infrastructure Minister Marek Grubarczyk, grain transshipment at the port of Gdynia reached a record high of 3.3 million tons in the first half of 2023. The Business Daily Pulse Business reported on Monday that 130% more grain was exported through terminals at the port of Gdynia in the first half of 2023 than a year earlier. It proves how well the ports are prepared for the handling of agricultural products, Grubarczyk said. In 2022, the port of Gdynia handled 4.7 million tons of grain. EU Commission Chief Ursula von der Leyen announced an anti-subsidy probe into Chinese electric cars, presenting herself as a champion of European business as she defended her record ahead of next year's elections. In a speech to the European Union Parliament that announced few concrete steps on the foreign policy front, Ukraine, she said, must do more before joining the bloc. The most significant announcement was the launch of the investigation into China's electric cars. The Commission, she said, would investigate whether to impose punitive tariffs to protect European Union producers against cheaper Chinese electric vehicle imports, it says, are benefiting from excessive state subsidies.
The future of Ukraine is in our Union. The future of the Western Balkans is in our Union. The future of Moldova is in our Union. I know this is not an easy road. Accession is merits-based, and the Commission will always defend this principle. It takes hard work and leadership, but there is already a lot of progress. We have seen the great strides Ukraine has already made since we granted them candidate status. And we've seen the determination of other candidate countries to reform. In a world where some are trying to pick off countries one by one, we cannot afford to leave our fellow Europeans behind. In a world where size and weight matters, it is clearly in Europe's strategic interest to complete our union. Since the start of the war, 4 million Ukrainians have found refuge in our union. And I want to say to them that they are as welcome now as they were in those fateful first weeks. We have ensured that they have access to housing, healthcare, the job market, and much more. And honourable members, this was Europe answering the call of history. And so I am proud to announce that the Commission will propose to extend our temporary protection to Ukrainians in the European Union. Our support to Ukraine will endure.
She also restated the EU's commitment to long-term support for Kyiv, praising the great strides it had made towards joining the EU, but saying hard work still lay ahead. The coach of the Polish national soccer team, Fernando Santos, is to leave his post less than 9 months after being hired. According to Polish media, the Polish Football Association has decided to part company with the Portuguese coach following the team's disappointing start to Euro 2024 qualifying. The 68-year-old Santos has been in the job since January, after spending 8 years as coach of Portugal. Poland is fourth in its 5-team European Championship qualifying group, behind Albania, the Czech Republic and Moldova, after losing 3 of its 5 games so far. The final blow was 2-0 defeat in Albania, which left Poland struggling to qualify for Euro 2024. Poland are fourth in qualifying Group E with 6 points from 5 games. They are 4 points behind leaders Albania and 2 behind second-placed Czech Republic and Moldova. After the defeat in Tirana on Sunday, Santos said he was not considering resigning. The selection of a new manager is now a priority for the board of the Polish Football Association, so we will soon announce when the presentation of the new coach will take place. Polski Związek Piłki Nożnej president Cezary Kulesza said in statement. That's it for now, but stay with us for more news and don't forget to tune in tomorrow, same time.